Hello everyone, welcome. I am Linda Israel and thank you so very much for coming to my live stream here on YouTube. I greatly appreciate your support and for taking the time to come here and hang out. There are a few things that I want to go over before the actual live started, so this is a recording. First of all, I want to make sure that you like this video and subscribe, so give it a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate that. When you subscribe, make sure you hit that notification bell up in the corner. That way you'll get a notification whenever I upload a video. I have a broadcast post or even a live stream. If you're watching this video as a replay and you're on a computer, look for the little gear at the bottom. You can change the speed to speed it up, or if you're on a mobile device, look for the little three dots and usually you can change the playback speed there. My live streams generally last about 2 hours. They can go as long as 3 hours. It kind of depends on what we're working on that day and how the feedback is in the chat. While you're watching, you earn junk bucks. So if you are here, in order to get those junk bucks accumulating, go ahead and type hello in the chat and my little bot, Junkie Joe, will see you and then you'll start accruing junk bucks. And you're wondering, well, what do I do with those junk bucks? Well, you can accumulate those, and once you have 2,000 of them, you can type !award and you can redeem them for a $10 off coupon to my shop. You can earn junk bucks while you're here and when you are chatting, as well as when you play the in-chat game. So look for those as they come up, and if you make a donation. For those of you that make a donation during my live stream, make sure that you go over to my website at lindaisrael.com, and if you haven't already done so, create a user account. When you make a donation during my live stream, basically you're buying a membership to my website and to the live stream. In my opinion, what we're doing is you're accumulating that money in my account. Thank you for that donation. And as a reward, you will get 5% off your orders at lindaisrael.com. And during the live stream, if I have a journal that I'm giving away at the very end, you are eligible to win that journal. Anybody that makes a donation gets into that drawing by manually typing in the raffle at the end, but then you also get the discount membership on my website. Thank you to Robin, who is my administrator during the live stream. She helps me out with answering questions as well as giving information. She is also my administrator over at the Friendly Junk Journal People Facebook group. If you haven't joined that group, please do. We'd love to have you over there. You're welcome to share what you're working on. Speaking of sharing, during the live today, you can speak up in the chat and say, hey, I have a YouTube channel. You will not be able to share your link to your channel, but you can at least say, hey, my name is, and this is what I do. And then your friends that come into the chat can follow each other. Let's keep the chat upbeat, friendly, and helpful. If you will be kind to those that are here. If you have a question, put it in all caps and I'll do my best to answer those. The chat sometimes goes pretty fast, so I don't always see it, so do ask again. And at the same time, if you're in the chat and you know the answer to somebody's question, please speak up and give them the answer. Check the description box for links to products that I share today. Yes, I am an Amazon affiliate, which means I do get a commission on items that you purchase through my link. If you're going to buy something anyway, I greatly appreciate it. It does not cost you any extra. It just gives me a little bit of a commission, which helps me buy products to show you here. If you win one of the raffles, you can start right now by typing !raffle. Do make sure that you go over to my website, and if you haven't already, created a user account. That way I will have your contact information so I can send you your prize. I am starting a raffle right now that is for 200 junk bucks, so you can get well on your way to accumulating your junk bucks. Let's have some fun today and let's get started. Thanks everybody for being here. Hello, hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. I think I'm live. Are y'all here with me? Hello, hello, hello. So glad to have you here today, even with the solar eclipse. And I went outside a couple of times and looked at the sky. I didn't really look at the sun that much because I didn't prepare with the glasses, but I did notice it get a little bit dark, and then it was gone. So no big deal. Hello and hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad that each and every one of you could come and hang out with me today. We're going to play with some envelopes. I thought I would show you a little bit of what we did last week. Hey, Julie. Hey, Robin and Sheila. And I think it's, please forgive me if I mispronounce it. Is it Get? And of course, Robin is here as my helper. If other people are here, I don't see you in the chat, so just speak up in the chat and say hello. So glad to have you here. I'll go over a little bit about what we did last week. So last week, I kind of showed some different ideas of using envelopes kind of as a base and altering them and turning them into something else. So here is one of those envelopes. So basically, I took an envelope and I covered it with other papers. I even added additional pockets to it. So if we take this out, this is also an envelope. This is an envelope. Let's slide this all over. You just watch it on YouTube? Okay, gotcha. This is like a little notepad of different papers. And then there was a pocket here and a tuck spot there. And there's a pocket here. This was part of the envelope. It was cut off and rotated and put on the back. I did add a strip of paper because my thought was, and I moved it, here it is, that I could glue this onto my page and then this would flip out. On this side, I left the window and then I just put a journal card in it. I did stamp on the window, and silly me, I didn't let it dry before I touched it, and I smeared the ink, but I still think it gives it a good effect. And then of course these go back into the pockets, and this is just a little envelope. I don't think I put anything in there yet. It's just a little envelope I made out of book pages. That goes in here. And then this was an envelope I used my punch board that I have, and that one goes right there. That was one of them. Another that I made, and I'm not doing these in order of how I made them, I'm just showing them to you. Another one is I took the envelope and I cut off the top so that we could put in this little notepad of papers that I kind of put together. Did I make this one during the live? I don't remember. I did not decorate behind the window, but I could add another piece of paper and glue that into place. And I think this will look pretty good right there. My thought was I would also make this into a hingeable element. So I've got a piece of paper here saved, and then I've got a couple more envelopes that I'm going to put with it. This one was some thin paper, and I added some book page to the back, and I used the envelope punch board. This one I just made with scraps that I put onto some book page, and then I've got this ribbon here. My thought was if I have this all together, that I can put that into a journal somewhere. So I'm just going to paper clip this together so that I can keep all of it. Another one that I made was using an envelope, and you can see more of it once I get all of the pieces out. So this was the envelope base. You can see where it had the information on there, and I took the bottom and folded it up so that created a pocket. This is the opening of the envelope, so that became a pocket. This part of the envelope was open, so that became a pocket. And then I decided to go ahead and just add a piece of paper on the back in tabs so that this could be a top loading pocket on my page. So that was something else that I did. I'm just trying to, oh yeah, this was a top load, but put it back, put it back, put it back. And then this one went right here. And then this was just a little notepad that I made, stapled the pieces together. So that could go there. This one can go here. That is also an envelope. I made this as a tutorial a while back, so you can see that. I did it in yellow, I think is the one that was done in the tutorial. I just showed this one how they were done. And then this one is going to go back here so that when we come to this page, we have all this goodness to work with. And then this was just the bottom portion of an envelope. And I added a couple of elements, including collaging some book pages onto it. And then I added a back for the pocket. And then I had this Rolodex card that I put in here. And then my thought was, because I added the gussets, I could have another there. So that was some of the things that I did last week. You like the blue? Thank you. Make the H the E before long. So, got, get. See, I'm trying to put the E in there. I'm not that smart. And I apologize. Please forgive me. You like the blue? That's kind of fun. This was a different gel prints that I had, some mixed media papers, and I just collaged them all onto a book page. And then I attached one of the Dancing Dragonflies digitals. Norella of Cal Collage did the digitals for me, so these are available on my website. All right, so let's set this over here. And, oh, let me show you this. So I sat down and went through a bunch of my papers. So I'll grab a couple of them here. And they're thin, like text weight paper. So I glued two back to back, several different patterns. I didn't use these yet. So I did a bunch of different patterns. That was kind of a blue toll look. And then I cut a whole bunch of them, and I used my envelope punch board to make these little envelopes. So they're small. They are about 3 inches. So the second one was, okay, get. Okay, gotcha. By almost 3 inches. And then I took some other paper that I had, some cardstock, and I just cut little journal cards to fit inside. They're not fully decorated. I thought, well, this would give me an opportunity if the bases were all made and I needed something to tuck into a pocket. I would have this good collection of envelopes with journal cards in there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so that was something else that I did. And then I have a few of the cards left over, so I went ahead and just rounded the corners, and I've got these available on my side here to add. You know, I have a bunch of scrapbook papers. I don't have a ton of scrapbook cardstock papers, but I have a few left, and so I'm trying to use some of those and get those available for me when I'm ready to work. Oh, and another thing I did was whenever I was cutting up the envelope pieces, I had little strips of paper left over because I made 5-inch envelopes, and I kept the little strips, and I thought those would be kind of good to put down as little pockets on a journal page. So let me get my page I just put up here. So for example, if I wanted to put that across the page here, and then I could make that into a pocket. I could also make it into a belly band, and my, where are they? Here they are. These are my little notepads I made a while back. I'll get one of them out. And my thought was this could slide over. You just got to put it up high enough that it doesn't stick out the bottom, and then you can have that as a tuck spot. So, you know, you got to come up with some creative ideas even for all the little scraps. I even made one a little bit longer, and my thought was it could go on the side and become a tuck spot there. Okay. All right, let's put this over here out of the way. Put this up here. This is some of my pre-made items I've been working on. So I've got some tags and some journal cards. That way I don't have to spend the moment that I am making something, the whole kit and caboodle, as we say. All right, so let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make an envelope out of a book page. And I wrapped it with a napkin. So it has an opening here. And it's a nice little envelope. I think I took 2 pages and folded them in half. I'm trying to remember how I did this. I think that's right. I think this is 2 book pages. So let's see here. If I were to go like this and go like this, is that the same? Just about. So let's do this, because I want to make sure that this is nice and sturdy, and one book page is rather thin. So I've got a book page that I've cut off the top and the bottom, and I'm trying to look here. I think I'm going to change my mind and get one out of my book. Let's see here. Here we go. I'll tear the pages out of the book cover, but I put them back in the cover to help keep them neat. And it also helps me find them when I want them. All right, so now I'm going to fold this in half. And then I'm going to glue it together because I want it to be a little bit sturdier. So I'm just using Aleene's tacky glue. You could use whatever glue you like. You could even use glue stick if you want. I just find that cost effective wise is just PVA simple glue that I am using. And my bone folder, oh, here it is over here. I'm just using my bone folder to help to push that glue out to the edges. Okay, let me grab my mixed media mat. I'm here. There we go. So here's where you can choose if you want to go ahead and fold the envelope into the size that you want, or you can just collage over it. I think I'm going to go ahead and collage over it. So first, what I'm going to do is I've got a napkin that I've started using, and I have torn it so that I can use pieces of it. And how I did that is I've got a paintbrush here, and I'm just going to dip it in some water and just kind of wet around the image, and then that's going to make that tear, so you kind of get that nice little jagged edge on it. Set that aside for a moment, and I think I'm going to go ahead and kind of tear this piece off. Okay, so now I've got a couple little pieces here. And I've got some watered down glue. I basically just got a little basic jar. Got to make a toast and coffee? Okay, enjoy. I'm just shaking it up a little bit. I had it a bunch of water to it. And so it's been sitting here on my desk, and it's nice and runny. So I'm just going to get a paintbrush. And I think what I want to do is this is going to be the top. It's going to fold over, and then this piece is going to come up. So I want to put a little bit of this down here on the bottom. I think that's what I want to do. So I'm just going to wet this. I'm going to go just kind of staying within where the text is. So for those of you, oh, I'm not up in it. For those of you that like the more vintage look, this is a good way to use those book pages just as they are. If you like to add a little bit of color, you could always add color to the book page before you put down the napkin. All right, so I'm just kind of patting that into place. All right, that kind of smooths that out. So now I'm just going to take this piece and kind of come from the top and maybe even a little bit further down. Yep, like that. You could also color your glue. There was a lady that she adds dyes, even coffee, tea to her glue, and that gives it a neat effect. All right, I'm going to come down just a smidge and lay this out. Come on, lay down. Okay. I'm just kind of using this napkin that I had laying on my desk, or paper towel, just to help smooth it out so I don't end up with a lot of glue on my fingers. You like coffee colored paper? So much damage, yeah, from when they get so old, they get damaged. But you can always glue multiples together. I would take the really old papers and glue them to the back side of other paper. All right, I'm just going to use my heat tool to dry this a little bit. Yeah, add the coffee color to the glue if you want. Or you can color it actually, as you go. It's almost dry. I'm going to dry that out. Yeah, mica powder. Yep, that too. You can use that. There's a lot of it is just experimenting. And of course, there's really not that many new things under the sun. So if you are in the mood, go out and watch a bunch of videos and get ideas, and then see how those ideas would work for you. Maybe it is that you're going to change the colors and things, and you're going to dye them or use inks or paint or whatever. Fountain pen ink and glue, yeah. All right, so that seems like it's pretty dry. I think I do want to add a little bit of color around the image. Not much, maybe. I've got a pink here. That's seedless preserves, but I think I want... That's purple. Where's my picked raspberry? There's the pink. We'll just use that one. And... picked raspberry. I'm going to put a glove on because usually my hand that's touching my paperwork gets dirty. So this way I don't get ink all over my fingers. And I'm just going to kind of come in here and add a little bit of color. Just using Distress Oxide and a blending brush. Okay. That adds a little bit of color. Put this back. Tomorrow you got to cook your new glue. Do you cook yours from scratch? I watched a video of this young man who's in China who makes all kinds of stuff. He makes his own handmade paper. He made his own ink. He made pigments. He made clay vessels. It was really kind of cool to watch. All right, so what I'm going to do next is we're going to start making the envelope. Just getting rid of my mixed media mat. Put it back where I can find it again another day. All right, so now what I want to do is make my little envelope. And I am going to score down the side about 1/2 inch and just score this. I'll use a pen just so y'all can see where I'm doing that. Okay, so I just kind of made a line, and then I'm going to do it on this side right even with, let's move it this way. I don't want the text, I don't want the white area. I don't want the text. I want text all the way to the end. I can't get my words out. All right. So that's going to be down the sides. And I think what I'll do is the same here. Is I will score this. And then that will get folded over. Okay. And while I'm at it, I'll do this one as well. So I will fold this one over as well. Okay. That didn't get very straight, so let's do this again. There we go. Okay, so this is my envelope, and my idea was that I would close it around maybe like that, but let's see if I want to go this way, and then this comes down. I think that's what I want to do. So I'm going to fold this up just a little bit. Oh, what is that? About 3 inches maybe. And then this is going to come down, but I don't want it to come all the way onto the edge there. So about 1.5 inches. I think that'll work. Now, if you don't like the way this looks because it's kind of plain, you could cut another piece of napkin on there. I think what I'm going to do is glue it down, and maybe I will, let's stamp over that. Okay, I'm just going to grab a piece of paper and my ink pad. I've got the, I use that already. Let's use this one. I've got the Corner Roses stamp. So I'm just going to stamp that right over where that is blank. Because you'll see it a little bit when you open the envelope. Right there. And maybe we should go ahead and add some pink to the inside of our envelope. Okay, is that my pink? There it is. Okay, so I'm just coming across that top, adding a little bit of ink, just so it's not just a white color. Okay, got that part done. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is fold this edge over. Get rid of this. Crease that down. So if you don't have a way to make envelopes, you don't have a template, this is what I find is such an easy way to make envelopes out of papers that you already have in your stash. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead, this is going to be the inside of my closure part of the envelope. I'm just adding some glue onto it. All right. So now that I know this area, I'm going to cut off part of this. That line kind of helps. So I'm just going to cut right down this line all the way to the fold, which will be the back side of our envelope. Okay, you kind of see what I'm doing there? And then I'm going to come over here and cut this one. It helps if you draw the line straight. And I'm just cutting a little notch and another little notch. All right, so now I'm going to grab my distressing ink and let's go around the edges real quick. Oh, nice! I don't know, Julie. It could be that people just are out watching the solar eclipse earlier and managed to stay outside. I kind of wish I would have stayed outside today. I did manage to work in my yard on the weekend a little bit. I didn't get that cut very straight. There we go. I'm going to cut that off a little bit. That is better. Sometimes you have to make adjustments. It's okay. And I'm just going to ink that edge. Busy, busy people, right? Everybody's busy. All right, I think I went all the way around. I may not have done this fold or this fold, but we can do that now. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is open this up, and then these are my little flaps to glue it shut. So I'm going to put some glue right there. All right, so I'm going to put some glue on these two little flaps. And then fold this up. Smooth that out. May need to make a few little adjustments, but that's okay. So there's my envelope base. There's where the flap is, and then this opens up. And because I use the little side gussets, you can use the full width of this pocket, okay? And then here is the other side where the postage would be. I did stamp some postage stamps. Let's do this butterfly. Or wait, let's do this dragonfly. That's the dragonfly post. I think I'll put that on there. And let's find maybe a scrap of paper to make a label to go on the front of our envelope. Kind of like I did over here. I've got a little scrap here. It's like the blank part of a book page, so I'm just going to cut off that portion. I think that would work. Let's add some distress inks to it. This was just a piece of a book page at the bottom where the page number was. Back over there. Margie's not here. That's who we haven't seen yet. We haven't seen Margie. And Jennifer. Everybody must be busy. I understand. All right, so I'm just adding a little bit of glue on the bottom here. And then I'm going to stick that down. So we have a little bit of difference. So this one, I just use the distressed ink in the walnut stain around the edges to add a little bit of color. And then this one, I added the pink around. So they're pretty close to the same size because I use the same size paper. Okay, thank you, Margie, for your donation. Thank you, thank you. I didn't see it. See, I don't understand why that's not working. I've logged into it. I've tried to refresh it. It's still not working. But I think those turned out pretty cute. Do you like those? Simple little envelopes. Hey, Margie! All right, let's set that aside. And I'm going to clean my hands off. All right. I ordered a new apron from Amazon. It's a long apron. I'll stand up so you can see. So it says it's dark gray, but it's kind of a brown color, but it's really, really long. It's kind of hard to see how long it is. I got it because I find that occasionally when I'm working, if my legs aren't covered, then I end up with junk all over my pants. So I thought, well, if I buy a long one, maybe I can keep my pants from getting dirty. All right, let's go for the next project. I did make some tea today. I made some peach tea. I needed more ice in it. It's warmish. I meant to put some ice in it, but the tea was so hot that when I did, it melted, so I hadn't gone back and got more. Margie! You just put on junky clothes? Well, I don't have that many junky clothes, so I'm trying to keep my clothes from getting junky. All right, so we got that one done. Here it is. Okay, so here we go. I've got an envelope, kind of like a junk mail envelope. The aprons don't cover. Well, that's why I like this one. It's really wide across. I don't know if you can see how wide that is. And it ties on the side. And so you don't get that pull on your neck. That's why I got it. It's more of a smock apron, I guess. A cobbler's apron. So this is some junk mail envelopes. Basically, my parents-in-law used to own a business called Oklahoma Notary Service. And what would happen is people could mail in their application and fees, and they would get back a notary stamp and their certificate to be a notary, a public notary here in Oklahoma. And so we had all these envelopes. And I think what I want to do first is I want to glue this envelope all the way shut. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on here. Put a little glue across there. Okay. So I'm just going to smooth that out. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to cover this envelope with a digital page. You could use scrapbook paper, you could collage all over it, and then it's going to become a pocket at the top, and it's going to fit on a page. So let's go this way. That when you put it over the page and you glue it at the top and the bottom, then it becomes a side tuck pocket, and then when on this side it would flip out. So let's make that so you kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. First thing I want to do is I want to cut this down because it's too tall for my journal. And I was going to use this paper, but I may change my mind. So in this case, it is 7 inches. So I'm just going to cut this down. And we can save this piece because we can use it as a pocket somewhere else. You could seal it all the way shut. You could use this as the pocket and glue the back down. You could turn it over and use this edge. So it just kind of depends on what you like. All right, I got that portion. So now what I want to do is, do I want to stick with this one? I'm trying to decide if I want to change my mind. I'm just getting out this is my box that I have digital papers in. On the example, I think I used a page from the Artful kit of mine. So I'm going to use one of Norella's Amarillo Rose papers instead of this paper. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to make this to be 7 inches tall. I want to keep that butterfly. So I'm just going to trim this to be 7 inches tall, just to make it easier to kind of manipulate. And this will be my top. So I want to start at the top and wrap it around. So let's see. I'm going to glue this here all the way down onto my page. So I'm just going to put glue across the top. And what I'll do is I'll end up wrapping this around my envelope. Okay. Okay, so I want to be able to have a little bit of a fold over here, so I'm just going to cheat and use this one as a guide. Oh, look at there. If I do this, I'm just going to go ahead and wrap this all the way across. So what I did was I basically just went all the way across because I'm going to make this portion, this little flip that's going to glue down, and I'll get more of that coverage. That'll work. Okay. So I'm going to put glue here and across and up. Okay. And then smooth this out. All right, I like it. Okay. Okay. I don't go anywhere, so you don't need nice clothes. I understand that, Margie. I work, though, outside of the home, so to speak, so I want to have somewhat nice clothes. All right, so now what I want to do is basically score this so I have a little flip that'll fold over. And I'm thinking that I want to fold it to where you can see the bird. So I'm going to line this up. What is this? This was roughly, oh, right around 2 inches. So let's do 2 1/4. Let's see how that looks. Oh, my glue pot is in the way, so I can't get my paper cutter all the way to the top. All right, so I think I'm going to come back to 2 inches. So part of the bird's tail feathers will be on the other side, but that's okay. So I'm just going to score this. Okay. And I'm going to give this a moment for the glue to dry before I fold it over. So I'm going to go around the edges with some distressings. You wear your ugly stuff because you were coloring paper. I understand that. When I'm doing a dirty job, I'll change my clothes and wear something that I'm not worried about. For example, when I was working in my backyard, I was wearing some really old, icky clothing. I'm just trimming this off so that I didn't ruin stuff that I could wear when I went to work. Alright, so I'm just going to go all the way around. Okay. And then I'm going to fold this where I scored it. Maybe. Apparently I can't fold it because I can't see it. Whoopsie. Let me look to see where I... Where's my score line, Linda? I can't see it. Right about there, I think. So right around there, I moved it over because of the bird. Okay, so let's score this again. So what happens when the page is still kind of wet, it's hard to see, and I don't want to push too hard and tear the paper. Okay, that looks better. I'm going to lay a ruler on here. Let me find my metal ruler and see if I can fold this over. There we go. Come on. There we go. Now, if I did this right, there is an opening here. This is completely glued shut, which is fine. I don't need it to be an opening because it will wrap over our page. So if we get our page here, move my paper clip out of the way. So in theory, the way this is going to work is this would go right here. I'll go ahead and paper clip it just so you get the idea. And then this becomes a pocket over here. Then this portion will flip out, and this up here is a pocket. And you can add some more embellishments, but I kind of like the way the Amarilla Rose looks. I did cut a card earlier to go inside the pocket, so I'm looking here. I kind of feel like I need to do something to this edge, but I felt like I didn't get quite enough glue all the way on that edge. You know what I may do is I'm going to look to see if I have some washi tape nearby, and maybe I'll wrap that edge because I think it would look better. So it's really not the right color, but maybe that would work. Let's use that one. It's got little flowers and roses on it. I've had this washi tape for a really long time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of some Elmer's Craft Bond glue right here on the edge. And then I'm going to take this washi tape and lay it kind of half over the edge. And let's cut off the excess here. Let's go up here. Don't twist on me now. Okay. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue stick, because washi tape, to me, it doesn't always stay stuck. There we go. That finishes that edge. It doesn't detract from it too much, does it? Hello, Jennifer! Hello, hello, hello! Okay. So now, I cut this journal card. Will it fit in here? I think it will. Yeah. And it sticks out just a little bit. So let's decorate this little journal card with something. We gotta find something to go on there. It's just a piece of cardstock I had laying here. Got a piece of digital music from Calico Collage, a little scrap of that. What else do I have here? I've got a piece of this teal. I wonder if that's enough to cover the whole card on this side. Yeah, why not? Let's add some distress inks to this and glue it all down. Okay. So what has everybody been working on this past week? Have you been making some creative things? Get said that she was dyeing some paper, I think. I need to dye some more papers. I was noticing I'm running low on my coffee dyed papers. And this one's already has a little bit of distressing on it already. So I think I'm going to do is glue this side down. Do I want to put that one over here? Put this one over here? I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay. I have a plan now. Just add a little bit of glue there. Let's go from this side. Why not? I'm just picking up the paper a couple times to grab some of that glue so it gets a good coat on here. Let's smooth that out. Oh, if you photocopy instead of scan, the colors come out. Well, Julie, what I do is I go in and I alter the white balance on my images that I scan. So if you're doing it on a computer, you can sit down at the computer and use the software and just find white balance, and that'll make a difference on the colors. Okay, so I think this piece can go here and up the edge. I think that kind of gives us a pretty little piece. Okay, just adding a nice little layer of glue there. Lining that up. Okay, that looks good. I had done some gel printing on some scrapbook paper and I had little scraps left over, so I've been trying to use them all up. Put that over there. All right, so this is looking pretty good to go in that pocket, don't you think? So let's add something to this. I think I thought I saw some little flowers. Did they get moved? Oh, there they are. So, since we did the blue, what if we did this kind of a purpley color? It's a technical term, purpley color. And let's see what we've got over here. I have Follow Your Heart. We could put that on here. We could add a little piece of fabric at the top, maybe. Yeah, if you have gel prints that you don't, you can't just bring yourself to cut them up. I scan them in too, Julie, because I like to be able to use them. All right, so I'm thinking. I just saw this little scrap bag. Let's see if there's something. Although that's the wrong colors, and I don't want to cut into the middle just to get to that piece. What else do I have here? I saw this little bit of fabric that I've had in my stash for a while, so I got it out to use. I think maybe we could use a little strip of this. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to line it up on my mat and get a straight edge. Let's do about an inch maybe. I want some of that fuzzy portion. And I've got a rotary cutter here. If I can get it out of the drawer. Let's see if that, yep, I cut it. Yay! Trying to use up some of these scraps. Okay, set that over here. Let's get the sewing lamb ready. We're gonna go over to the sewing machine in a moment. Thank you, Giovanna, for the sewing lamb. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna smooth this out. And I think what I want to do is just kind of ruffle this across the top. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue here. And ruffle this just a little bit. Come on now. Kind of smushing that out. Okay, we got that piece, and I saw some lace over here. I've got a little piece of this white lace. So what if we were to lay that across the bottom there when we go to stitch it? Can you see that? So I'm going to cut off a piece of this and lay that across here. And then let's go over to the sewing machine. Sewing lamb! Ah! All right, sewing lamb. I have a regular sewing machine. I have it set to a zigzag stitch. I have black thread in the upper and the lower. I do recommend that you wait till glue is dry before you sew over it. And what else? A regular needle. You know, if you sew a lot on paper, you may need to change your needle every so often because it can get dull. But otherwise, it's pretty much the same as sewing only on fabric. You just take your time. So I'm just going to line this up at the bottom here and sew that lace over the top of the fabric. There. Just stitch that across there. Has the stitching on the back. Junkie Joe had to take a break. He didn't want anybody to win today. All right, so now I take this piece and Follow Your Heart. Let's put it right about there, maybe. I'm going to go ahead and glue this piece down. These was stamped images that I stamped earlier. so I would have them handy. This was a stamped and then watercolor paints. You blow the dust out. Yeah, you got to get the dust out of it. It's better if you had a little vacuum cleaner. And then I do recommend that you take apart your bobbin housing and clean up under where the bobbin is if you do a lot of paper, so that you can get out all of the dust that collects there as well. Okay. So there's that. And then we have the back side. I'm going to add some distress inks to it. I'm just using walnut stain. Your heart gets paranoid when you follow it. I forgot to distress this before I put the fabric on, so I'm just kind of folding the fabric back out of the way. Get out of the way! There you go. And so this piece can go right in here. And then we can make a card to go in this pocket. Just kind of smoothing this out. I like it. All right, so let's make a card to go what would be into here. And I've got a, what is this, 4 1/4 by 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4 1/4 by 6. I've got some book page here. Maybe we'll do some layering. Let me see if I got one that's... Oh, you know what? We have a piece of this too. That was from making it. So what if I were to collage on here? Do I want to go all the way to the edge? Put that across there. Maybe something on this side. What do I have that I could use? I have a little piece of this from the Apothecary journal kit. And then that would stick out. And we could put something here in the middle. All right, let's add some distress inks to these pieces. And then we'll glue it all down. I'm trying to use all my scraps as I go. Hey, Sally. Hey, Connie. Welcome, welcome. Connie, I resent an email to you with your coupon code in it. So you might check your email to see if you got it. Trying to add some distress inks to this really fast. And let's do this piece. That piece is going to get covered up. This side's going to get covered up. So I think I'm just going to glue this down first. Okay. Across. Aqua light green. I have not seen that one. I'll have to look it up. All right, let's line it up with the edge. Okay, so then I'm going to glue this piece down the side and then glue this piece across the bottom. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I've already made one envelope and I'm working on the second one. Okay, so then we're going to put this piece across here. Trying to get the length. Okay, right about there. Okay. Okay. Go that across. And then let's cut this piece off. And then what can I put? Oh, I know. I saw some digital images from Calico Collage. Maybe I can find one that would fit in there. Where are they? Here they are. That may be too bright. What else do I have here? This is one of Norella's Apothecary that I cut down in my computer software by printing it on a smaller page. I think it needs something else to go with it. Let's look in my papers. Maybe a piece of a blue of some kind. Let's see what I have here. I may need to go get the green. Oh, sorry, Hercules. Did I bother you? I'm sorry, buddy. That I could layer that piece right behind that. Let's go this way so you can see a little better. I kind of think I like that. This was a boo-boo print. I had some photo paper in my printer, and I guess it defaulted to that paper and printed, and I ended up with a big mess. So I saved it by putting it in my bin of blue items. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to trim this down. And let's trim this side down. That was one of my gel prints that printed on the back side. And on this side was one of the ledger papers, I think, from Norella, Calico Collage. Okay, just trim that down. Oh, I didn't know you had a different email address. Okay. I had like Toll Painter or something like that was the email address I had. All right, so I'm just going to go around the edges. And then if we layer this up, and then put that on here, we get all those layers. Still see the book page behind there? You know, another thing we could do is make this a secondary pocket on top of this journal card. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to glue this down. I should glue. I'm going to use this glue because it's kind of that photo paper, so it's kind of got a coating on it. So I'm going to glue this down. And let's go over to the sewing machine, and I'm going to stitch around it. So we're going to go back to the sewing lamp. So I'm going to put this in the middle. Close up my glue. Put that away. I don't remember. I don't remember. It came from my linda.israel@gmail.com account, if you're do a search for that. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stitch. I didn't put glue on the edges. That's why it's sticking up. I'm going to stitch right across the whole thing, and then we'll glue this on top, but leave it to have a tuck spot behind there in case we want to put something behind there. And then you've got the back side that we can use. All right, so let's go over the sewing machine again. Then we'll stitch. Feels good to use up all these little bits and pieces of paper that I've had in my stash forever. There's a gal that's in our Facebook group that's been saving all of her little scraps, and she's been showing photographs and I believe tutorials or videos of how she uses up her scraps, most of which are all sepia tone, book page, vintagey colors. It's kind of cool, some of the stuff she's been doing. All right, so we've got this piece now. I hear you. I know. I was like, I don't know. All right. I think I can glue this down and just use the stitching as the area and not have a paper gusset on the backside. Oh, this is glossy paper for sure. So we'll use the Fabri-Tac glue. All right. So now I'm just going to put glue across here. I had to clean my Aleene's tacky glue nozzle the other night. Oh, I guess it was last night. I was sitting there trying to work and my glue wouldn't come out. I was like, what in the world is going on? And so finally I went and got a needle to poke through the opening, and I washed it in the sink, and it was like a little piece of sand was stuck in there. I guess the glue had hardened enough that it made like a little rock and it wouldn't pass through the nozzle. All right, so let's put that right here. Okay, I'm just cleaning up the glue. Clean off the glue. What a mess. Okay. So while that's drying, because I don't want to put a card in it until it's dry, but what we could do is find an envelope to stick in there. I think that's what we should do. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add some distress inks to the edges, kind of help marry those together. And then I need to find a phrase or sentiment to put on the front, right? Okay, so we got that piece. Put that back in my blue bin. I had little envelopes. This one's a small envelope that we could kind of peek like that, maybe. I don't want to put it all the way in there yet, but I think that would look cute on there. And then this would go here. All right, so let's just, this is going to go in here. That's going to go in there. Let's find a sentiment. How about my thoughts linger here? We'll put that on here. I like Norella's digital images. I need to message her and find out what's new and play with some of her newer stuff. Okay. All right, so that's going to go inside here. I'll kind of make it at an angle, sticking out just a little bit, I think, so you can see it. And then that would go here. So it's nice and thick. So let's look at how this would look if we were to attach it. Let's put it here. Maybe we'll do this one. There we go. So if we put it here, pretend that it's glued in place on our page. Oh, that's kind of cool. That sticks out the top. And then this piece would go here. And then when you flip this over, you've got this piece that flips out. Now you can add another pocket on top of here. And then you've got the journal card here. I may turn it this way. Let's see. Just so that it is prettier when you get to this page. And then when you flip it over, yeah, that looks pretty good. I don't know that it needs anything, maybe a sentiment across there. How about aspire to be amazing? So that feels thicker, but let's put that right there on the page. You like that? Oh, thank you so much. I thought you might like that. Let's put that right here. Okay, I like that. And you could choose, like I said, to put a pocket over there. We had this little piece left over. We could cover it and make that another tuck spot, but I think I'm just going to leave it for now. All right, so there is another envelope used. Set that aside. Get something to drink. All right, so I've got another little project here. I have a, lay that right there for now. I have another one of those envelopes. So I'm going to glue it shut again. If you have an envelope that was cut open, then just clean up the edges is what I would do. Just clean up the edges before you do the next steps. All right. So I have this sheet music that's one of Norella's digitals. You could use real sheet music if you want, or book pages, but I thought this would be kind of cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this onto the paper and glue it down, and then fold this over and glue that down. We're going to change this from an envelope to something else altogether. Okay. Now, if you had an envelope that was cut, I would put that cut portion out here on the edge. All right, so now I'm going to do, see if there's any glue on there. There's a little bit. So I'm going to cut off this piece here because I don't need it. That's how I came up with that piece earlier that I used on the journal card for the last one. Just slide this back a little bit. Save that. All right, and then I'm going to fold this over onto itself. Now I'm going to glue this down. Okay. All right, so now my envelope is covered. I have a little bit sticking out there. That's okay. We're going to end up cutting that off in a moment. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off the end. So I'm just coming past just a little smidge. So I'll get that folded part of the envelope and a little bit of the paper. Cut that off. So now this should be open right there. And I'm going to come around this way and do the same thing. Just barely cut off a little bit of the envelope and the paper. Can I get this straight? Get straight for me, please. Have a little strip left over. Put that in my bin. Now I'll make sure that I cut it. I did. So now I'm going to cut this edge. So now I've cut the whole thing open and I covered it all at once. Now, you could have cut the envelope open and then glued it down flat. That's up to you. I did it this way. Okay. Just kind of adding a little glue there. I have a book page that I want to glue on this page. I'm looking to see how I want to do this. I think I want to add some distress inks to it. Since I didn't have a coffee dyed one handy, I'm just kind of grunging it up a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this down at the top and cut off the excess on the sides because I didn't want any blank area. I wanted the text to go all the way to the edge. Okay, so I'm going to go here, here. Okay, and then just kind of pick up some of that glue. Just going all the way up to the edge, and we'll smooth this out. I do want to go ahead and put glue on this portion just so that it stays in place. All right, so I'm going to cut off the excess paper. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to make sure that I don't have this too tall to fit in my journals. Generally, my journals are 8.5 inches tall. So if I come down here and I want a little bit of a pocket at the bottom. So I'm going to come down to 6.5 inches. Maybe I'll go to 6. Let's go to 6 inches. Why not? All right. So I'm going to come to 6 inches and score. And I'll get my pens out so you can kind of see the score mark. And then we're going to fold this piece up. Crease that. And then this is our center fold. So what I'm going to do is put a little bit of distress inks right here. All right, so there is where it joins together. So I can see it, I'm going to cut a little bit of this off, a little bit more. And let's go ahead and add some distress inks. It's easier to do it when it's all folded like this, I think. Oh, it's just a in-chat game that once you've been playing for a little while, you accumulate what we call junk bucks or fake currency. And it's a possibility that you could win additional junk bucks if you play the game. So you don't have to play, you can just watch and see how it goes. All right, so let's go ahead and do the inside across the top and down the side. Okay. Yep, and you can get a coupon, just as Sheila said. All right, so I cut that little notch out so that when this folds over, it doesn't interfere. So now what I'm going to do is glue, get rid of that piece. here on the side, right there. I'm going to grab a little clippy, help hold that in place for a moment. Let's glue over here. Glue that down. I'm going to grab another little clippy for now. All right, so now we've basically made a little folio to start with. So while that's drying, I have one of Norella's images from the apothecary garden, and I want to fussy cut out this butterfly. So I'm just going to kind of come in here and fussy cut around it. Because I wanted the sheet music instead of just the background that she made. Kind of fussy cut. Okay, we're coming around. My thought was this might look really pretty on the page here, like so. Oh. Dropping papers in the floor. I think that's probably good enough. All right, so let's add some distress inks to this image. All right, so I'm going to put it down, but I think I want to add a little bit of color behind there so it stands out just a little bit. Do I want to add purple? Maybe purple. There's a purple. I have Dusty Concord here. All right, so I'm kind of looking at this and I'm thinking that I want color right here. I think my ink pad is about dried up. Okay, go like there. Okay, now we're getting there. I think that looks good, just adding a little bit of color behind there. Yeah, it's expensive to have things shipped, that's for sure. Yeah, sending it to somewhere else is okay, but not from here to there. All right, let's go. Let's go ahead and glue that down, okay? Using this digital image, I really like this butterfly that Norella used on here, or moth, butterfly, whatever it is. Okay, so kind of lining that up where I distress the background. Smooth it out. I like it. All right, so let's find, I've got the word journal here. See which one works the best. I've got this one, and I have this one. I'm thinking maybe this smaller one will look good. Need to stamp some more of those apparently. All right, so do we want a piece of fabric behind that? Wonder if I have something up there. Oh, what about, I wanted to use this earlier. Is this big enough? It's just a little bit of a piece that would stick out from behind that. I think that would be good. All right, so let me get my fabric scissors. Okay. There we go. I used another little piece. All right, so let's glue that on there and then glue it down. Oh, there you go. You got a boss fight started. All right, so let's put this piece right here on top. Okay, now let's glue this piece down. So now this piece can close shut. Let's add some distress ink where the fold is on the bottom here. All right, so now let's add something to the inside. And I say, let's add one of my envelopes that I've made. So we can add that right here. Okay, gets a little bit of that pink. What else could we add? I don't know if my journal cards I have up here, if there's some that are narrow enough, but maybe. Oh, look, we've got this tag we can stick in there. Maybe this tag, because it'll stick out a little bit at the top, but that's okay. It gives us some additional writing space, and you can put more things in there. Maybe I'll decorate that. That's one of my rubber stamp images that I stamped and colored. Oh, here's an old envelope that I made a while back out of a gel print. We could put that in a pocket. Is it too wide? It may be too wide. It may interfere. Can't really see it. I don't want to cover that up. So we're just going to put it back over here. This is just a card that somebody sent me, so maybe I'll stick that in here. That'll work. Just a couple of little layers. All right, so I'm thinking maybe that over there. These are some of my watercolor flowers that I made a while back. I've got a few left. Let's see what I've got here. It's kind of a purpley color. I feel like I need to tear this a little bit smaller. So what if we were to glue that on here? Oh, and I just saw those. I've got a little scrap of paper here that we could make a little journal card out of. Whoa, 71 junk bucks. That's a pretty good win. This was a scrap left over from when I made all those envelopes, and I made cards to go inside them. So I'm thinking maybe something like that. I'm trying to decide if I want to add something to the top here. You know what we could do is I had the washi tape out. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to add a little bit of glue stick right across the top here. And then I'm going to go across the top. Don't pull your washi tape taut. Just barely hold it with a little bit of tension in there, because if you pull it too tight, it will cause your page to curl. Okay, that'll work. I'm just cutting it off even. I think that helps, just adding a little bit up there. And then I'm just going to add the raspberry over here and just glue it straight down. Like so. A little bit of eclectic feel. And then I think we'll put this one right here. I'm going to make that a tuck spot. So I'll just put glue on the side and across the bottom. Thank you for being here. Have a good night. Y'all have an amazing day. Okay. All right, like that. Put this up here. Put a little journal card in there. Let's add some distress inks to these pieces. This one's already got it, so we can put that there. Okay, so that would go in there. Maybe we'll put something on it. Oh, let's do this one too while we're at it. I don't know if these are Tim Holtz paper that was given to me, or if this was like a Project Live card. I don't know. I just saw it, thought I would use it. And let's see here. I've got... What if we were to put this little label on here? And I've got, I want this dragonfly. I just saw these. Maybe a cross like that. Nice little composition. Let's glue that down. Oh, hello! Hello, Darlene. Welcome. We're so glad you were able to be here. I'm working on envelopes that I am turning into journal elements. Okay, glue this piece down. Okay. Put that back in here. I have some little words that I stamped, but I haven't used a lot of them, so I'm going to see what I have here. Here we go, thoughts. So do we want to glue it like this so that when this is sitting in here, yeah, okay. I don't want to put that down in there yet in case that glue is still wet. Okay, I like that. I feel like this needs something on it. Oh, I know. We've got some of these little flowers that I've made. Maybe something like that. Just a little pink pup of pink. And let's find a different word. How about nature? Maybe another little piece of fabric. Just a little piece. Get my fabric scissors here. Something like that. Oh, I'm not in camera all the way. Why didn't you say something? Okay, let's glue that together. So I'm going to glue this on top of this piece of fabric. Then glue that down. You can find me here unless you fall asleep. I understand that. Okay. Let's put that right here. And let's glue this piece down. We're almost done with this one. So then this piece, see if I got it, could go right here. And then this piece will go right here. And then we've got the front of the envelope that opens up, and we have pockets. And I covered the inside of the envelope with a book page, made a couple of journal cards, had some stuff already made. This was a tiny envelope that I made yesterday, I guess it was. Do we want to put a fake postage stamp on there? A faux postage? I would if I could find them, but they always disappear, right? Let's see what I got here that would look good. I've got a butterfly. I have the bee. Here's a pansy. And here's the dragonfly. I'm kind of leaning towards the butterfly. I think that would look good on there. Oh, well, I'm so glad that you'll be able to be here, Darlene. All right, let's glue this down. And glue that right here. Smooth that out. Feeling lazy today? I have to go check on my dog, Oreo. Pardon me. It's okay? Okay. Henry's home. He scared the dog, I guess. Okay. And so this is going to go in there. And then we've got this little tag. I like it. Do you like it? Here's another one that I made. This is my prototype that I made. It's a little different, but it's the other butterfly, but I added color to it. And I did the same thing in the background. And then I added the word journal. This time I had a little piece of denim and some sequins that I put on there. Well, he hurt himself the other day, and now when you touch him, he acts like he's scared. He's okay. All right, so then on the inside, oh, that's what I did differently. This one I stamped. That one I used washi tape. But this one I stamped. And then I made a different little journal card to go right here in this pocket. And then I had some of this cardstock that's printed, but it tore when I folded it. So I just added a little piece of fabric that I had in this little bin of fabric. And then I had another little piece of fabric that I put the word notes on, so that could go in here. And then I had a journal tall skinny card, and this is one of my stamped book pages that I watercolored, and I thought that would go over here. Here I layered up on a piece of gel print one of my little stamped labels, and then that's the little dragonfly. I didn't add anything to this envelope, but I just thought it was a pretty color. And then there's nothing on the back, so the same with this one. So that's kind of cool. That was the third thing that we made today. So here we are. We're at 5:30. I've used some junk mail envelopes. We've made an envelope. So let's go back and look at what we did. So they're kind of go together, don't they, color-wise? So then we have this envelope that has a flip that when you attach it to your journal page, wherever you decide to attach it, you would glue this down, and then when you got to this side of the page and you flipped it over, it has the pocket in it. So this comes out. And then when this is glued on the page, there'll be a pocket there. And then I added a little envelope to the pocket. There's journaling space there. And then this is the first one I made, where I made an envelope out of a book page and stamped over it. You like that? Was that fun? I'm kind of thinking I might get off early here today since Henry's home. I'll show you a couple others that I made in the past weeks. This was some of Norella's digital that I glued to a piece of book page after I glued all of these scraps. I think we did that last week, showing y'all how that went together. This is another book page that I made into a different type of an envelope so that I could cover a journal card. So there was a card that I made to go inside using some gel prints and fabric. Here's one where I kind of made like a tuck spot so that you could put, for example, this envelope inside of it, and that was a window envelope. Well, that'd be kind of cool, putting that on there like that. Kind of goes together. Here's another one. This one I did put down a piece of paper inside, and so this could be stuck inside of a different pocket. This envelope, I took a piece of a book page. No, I did not. I took an actual envelope. I took an envelope and cut it apart and made it into pieces that I covered with different pieces of gel prints. I think that's all that I have in here. You know, I haven't done very many of this size, little miniature envelope pockets, I guess you could say. You love the colors? Well, good. I'm glad you do. So there's some fun things that I've worked on today. Let's give away the 200 junk bucks. I think I'm going to get off here early tonight. Go have dinner with my husband and pet Oreo. I'll update the cover photo of this video so you can see the three different, oh, that doesn't go there. The three different, where'd it go? Oh, that's right, I put it in here. Envelopes that I made today. Kind of see the three different options of things that you can do with envelopes. Jennifer says, hi, Henry. Thank you, Connie. Thank you, Jennifer. All right, let's do the giveaway. Who's in for 200 junk bucks? Give them just a moment. I don't know what I'm going to do next week. I haven't decided yet. I've been slowly working in my studio space, kind of gathering things and putting them like things together and trying to get rid of stuff that doesn't work. Like I threw away a bunch of dried up paint that apparently I've had for a while. So I've been trying to use up more of that too. I think maybe I'm ready for some mixed media. What about y'all? I've been thinking about making a mixed media art journal out of paper sacks. Is that something y'all are interested in? Let me know. Give Oreo some pets from Jennifer. I will. Or pet your husband and have dinner with Oreo. Yeah, we could try that, Margie. He might like that. All right, let's pick a winner of 200 junk bucks, and that winner is Jennifer. When are you going to make the peacock journal? Make a peacock. You know, I may have to look at my supplies that I've been collecting. And I know that I have the Royal Peacock digital download that I offer in my shop. And Narilla has the Spring Peacock kit. So let me see if I have some of those pages already printed. And I've got a little envelope that I've been putting things in the idea that I want to make a peacock journal. So maybe that's something I can look at and see if that's ready for doing that. What else? I think that's about it. So I don't know. Let me know what y'all think in the comment box down below. What you liked best about today, and what are you going to be working on in the next week? And then what would you like to see next week? Would you like to see me do a mixed media journal where I make it out of paper sacks and make it kind of like an art journal? Or is there something else that you would like to see? Jennifer says the peacock journal. Yeah, for me to keep, because I want to keep that journal. Well, that's why I haven't made one yet, because y'all are like, if you make a journal, we're going to take it from you. And I'm like, no! Oh, I can make one for her and one for y'all, huh? Apparently Robin says I can make two. Margie likes the peacock journal idea. Okay. Julie says mixed media. Got one vote for mixed media. Oh, y'all crack me up. Alrighty. Well, let's see. We'll see what I can find. And if I have enough supplies that I don't have to go digging too deep. I've been working on different things, like I said. So if I have enough already put together, we'll see what we can do. We would never. You can make it along with me. There we go, Sheila. There you go. There you go. All right. Well, I'm going to get off here and have dinner with my husband. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I greatly appreciate your support. And I hope you have an amazing week. Do something fun. We survived the solar eclipse today. Can you believe it? Well, thank you, Julie. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, y'all take care. We'll see you next week. Lots of love to each and every one of you. Bye, everybody.